Hey guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. Welcome back to a Q&A. So doing this as a second video, probably I'm away on holiday by the time this video comes out. Doing a different one today. We are live on Twitch. So we're actually doing this just before the Call of Duty open beta comes out, so I'll be playing that in a bit. But yeah, I just thought I'd do it just for about 25 minutes roughly. Answer some questions, because again, the reason why I do Q&As is when I wasn't a YouTuber, I always wanted to ask questions, and there was never somewhere that I could get answers, so I've always kind of liked doing them for that. Someone's asked, what's my zodiac sign? Well, I don't believe in zodiac signs at all, but it is Cancer. Not as in like it's bad, like that's my zodiac sign, I think. If that's what it's on about. Is that zodiac, is that like Cancer, Leo and all that type of thing? I think that's what it is. But yeah, I'm Cancer the crab, but I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's a load of baloney. What do I think about Kale, and where would you play her? She's okay. Like, I've actually used Kale over the years. Like when I got Diamond for my first ever time back in Season 3, Kale was one of like my 3 champions that I played. Like that really helped me. My 3 from memory were Ryze, Kale, and Lux back then. And obviously I played other stuff, but those 3 I do remember vividly helping me. And I think also Lee Sin. But where do I think? I think Kale at the moment is best played top lane, because she practically will beat any of the top laners in current meta in a 1v1 duel later, and she can be relatively safe if you're just good at her. So, yeah. Do I think Mal's is good to get Plat 5? Any champion's good to get Plat 5. What is the best site to check LoL tiers? I'm probably asking the wrong person, because I think like champion tier lists are, again, a bunch of baloney. I think they're completely poop, and they basically are for... I think they're a noob trap, is what I'd call tier lists in League. Only noobs take them seriously. You'll never hear a high rating person take it seriously unless they're somebody that makes tier lists, because obviously they want people to watch their video or buy their guide. But yeah, like no one really takes them seriously because they're irrelevant in the end of the day. What are you expecting with the new ranked late season push? With, you know, people boosting win trading this season versus others. You don't really notice it, to be honest. Like, again, all that stuff is completely blown out of proportion. Like, the average person that thinks they've ever played against a booster or a scripter, like, probably hasn't. It's a lot of, like, you know, false negatives or whatever, that just because someone's playing a bit better, like, in your mind, you've convinced that they are a certain thing, when in reality they're not. It's a very, very, very tiny percentage of people that does boosting or anything like that. And like he mentions, even win trading. Win trading only happens the higher rating you, like in the highest ratings, because the way that win trading works is you queue up the same time. If your friend is on the enemy team, they can give you a free win. It obviously is against the rules. But if you're in silver and you try to do that, well, there's hundreds of thousands of people queuing up at the same time in silver. If you're in diamond, well, there may only be about 2,000 people online that are queuing up. So it's not really a thing that affects the population of League. Do I like that tank meta is coming back? Hell yeah. So many people complain about tank meta, which I don't know why, because I've always found that League is in its healthiest when it's a balanced meta that has tanks, especially in top lane. I've always found, like, when you have a tank in top lane, you've got a carry jungler, a carry mid lane, an AD carry, and a support. I've always found that's the most balanced and neutral, like, just good League of Legends there's ever been. And like, if you watched a League discussion of mine not too long ago, I said Season 9, the rest of this season and next season, in order to get the confidence back of the community, they should do nothing controversial. Bringing back tank top laners and making it kind of a, if you want to call it boring, I don't find it boring, but a just normal comp strategy meta, I think is the best thing that Riot could do right now. And I think that would help big time. Do I think Fizz is in a bad spot? I've heard he's relatively overpowered. So I don't really know what to believe. Like, some people say he's nerfed, some people say he's overpowered, so I don't really know. I've played him myself, and I was one-shotting people at, like, level 4. So I have no idea. Someone saying, what is your view on the long-term structural form of esports? Do I think that individual games and their specific future iterations will have the staying power of traditional sports like football? No. Just by nature, no. Esports will be a thing for the rest of our lives, like the premise of it being a very high viewed thing. Will League of Legends be an esport in 10, 15 years? Maybe, but it won't be mainstream probably anymore. Something new will come out. Like that's the difference. Like there is no new football or baseball or basketball. People aren't making new iterations of them to replace. Well, technology advances, you know, developers get lazy, like a lot of stuff happens. It's a different culture. Like they're trying to get into the same world of, hey, watch this competitive professionals thing, but it's the same world, but it's a completely different thing. So esport will stay, but not the individual games, I don't believe at all. What's my plans for WoW BFA? That's World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. Well, right now, I was going to be playing Hunter because that's my best class that I used to be quite good at. But I have changed my plan recently because I looked at like how good Hunters are doing and their bottom DPS in pretty much every spec, more or less. Survival apparently isn't doing... It's still in the bottom half, but I don't want to play Survival. So I've recently swapped to Warlock. I've always been interested in them, and this gives me an opportunity to do it because Hunter is apparently not in a very good place. Warlock's quite good. I've always wanted to play it, so I've just made myself a Warlock, and that's what I'll be playing, at least for the beginning. If, like, we're in raiding and I'm doing okay on my Warlock, but then suddenly Hunters become good again, then sure, I'll level my Hunter and then probably swap to Hunter, but we'll see. What's my take on the perfect patch cycle for League? Well, we mentioned this earlier in a commentary, which may have already come out by now on the main channel, at the main video of the day, Climb to Master. My perfect patch cycle would be a patch like basically every 2 months, 8 weeks. Recently, like when all this mess has happened and has forced people to quit the game, they were doing patches every 3 weeks. It was just stupid. No one could keep up. The pros then couldn't stream, so people care about the pros less. You have to play more in a video game that you might be even having less fun in because of the meta, because it's constantly changing, so you've got to keep up. And the meta was actually more boring than good, in my opinion, because it was forced. In my opinion, if Riot forces a meta, that's boring. The player base should. Like, they should set the precedent at the beginning of the season, going, this is going to be what the meta kind of is. We might shake it up a lot in mid-season, but from now until mid-season, this is basically what it's going to be. And then change the little things here and there, but that's where the player base then has the power to define the meta, and that's where you get the likes of counter picks making a big deal and all that. Like, that's where you get like crazy strategies come out to counter something that's been around for already a month. But you can't have that if the game changes every 3 weeks, and like I've even mentioned, is when you're doing a patch every 3 weeks, if they do one thing wrong or two things wrong, and they don't fix those things by the next patch, you have an ongoing effect of problems. And I think that's kind of what happened to League recently, and that's why a lot of people kind of just got fed up. And that's why Riot has taken a big back step, kind of going, whoa, sorry, yeah, we're going to calm it down, we're reducing damage in the game, we're slowing down the patches, our bad. They've gone in, like, full, backward motion. So, yeah. Thoughts on the new Akali? She's much of a muchness. I hate that her stealth, my only thing about her is I hate her interaction with W and towers. I don't think that should be a thing, personally. But apart from that, she's still a one-trick champion, in my opinion. Like, do I think... There will be some people who have picked up the new Akali, but do I reckon like she's going to be mainstream? No. They've just made a one-trick champion into a one-trick champion with a bit of splash of paint and updated mechanics, so... do I think there will be a place for Ivern in the meta again? Well, that depends the meta, doesn't it? Sure. There's a chance for every champion to be meta. It just depends how the meta goes and what they want to do, what they want to achieve, and if the player base thinks of it as a counter. Like, if they go with the thing that I hope, longer patches, or whatever they make the normal, it only takes a couple pros or a couple really good challenger players to kind of go, oh, Ivern's good versus this, then Ivern could be meta. Like, that's the thing. I'm not a big fan of Ivern myself, because I kind of find him a bit too cheesy and, lackluster in the skill department, but that's just me. So you hit my goal of getting gold this season, but you've not progressed through gold 5 for like 3 months. What would I recommend to do? Or if you you probably have hit your skill cap for now. Again, skill caps can get increased. I will say everybody in League, and again, I've always found it a weird concept that some people in League do not believe that they have a natural skill cap. Of course you do. Like, you have a natural skill cap basically in everything in life, and yes, you can make that go up by hard work, but there's always going to be a limit to it. You know, again, some people don't like me using physical comparisons because they say that's different, but in reality, it's not that different. But like, you know, you're a sprinter, you're running 100 meters in 10 seconds flat. That is your limit. With training and stuff, you might make it a little bit more, but you're not going to run it in 8 seconds. Like, there's an actual limit, you know. And that's the same with League. Everybody's got it. You can make it a little bit more, but it's basically just looking internal and basically writing down any mistake that you make for probably about a week and then seeing if there's a pattern and then trying to make a plan to fix that pattern. And you can probably do it yourself. Like, it doesn't take much. Like, so many people like to believe that they're experts at the game, but they're in silver or gold. If you are that player that thinks you should be higher rating, well, do the mistake thing. And then if you think, like, if you're one of those people that, you know, watches LCS and notices all mistakes, do it to yourself and then make a plan to fix it. When you actually have all the mistakes in front of you, it shouldn't be that hard to kind of remedy. Am I going to play the Nunu rework? Probably not. Like, if it's anything like current Nunu, he's really boring. So, unless they give him actual mechanics, then I don't see why I would. Someone's saying, hey, you bought the WoW expansion, you've never played before, they gave me a boost token. Is there any class I'd recommend to boost? I just would recommend don't use the boost for ages, to be honest. You don't need to use it from my knowledge unless they force you to. I don't think so. But if you're brand new to WoW, 100% you should be leveling a character to learn the game, not boosting a character and then trying to find out what the hell's going on. You'll never probably catch up. That's the equivalent of somebody who's brand new to League just be given like a platinum account. They go, off you go. Like, it's not going to help you in any regard. You're not going to learn anything about the game being thrown into the deep end that much. So, like, level a character, and then when you're leveling, you'll come across other players, you'll see other classes. If you like the look of something, when you get your first character to max level, then boost something like you like the look of. Like, oh, I like the look of that guy when I was leveling, I'm going to get one of those. But definitely level before you boost. Any view on the economics and finance shape around the esport industry with the constant changing games? I only really can speak for like League because I know that one quite well. I personally don't see how any of the teams are profitable. Because if you think about it, they had to buy a slot for the LCS. I think it was around $10 million. For winning, I know winning an LCS split always used to give $1 million. Like, if you won one of the half splits, summer or spring, you as an organization won $1 million, I'm pretty sure. So even if you win that, you're not profitable. The player salaries now, someone said earlier, I don't know, I can't 100% confirm, like, I can't remember where they said, but apparently the average salary for a pro in League now is $316,000. Again, I don't know if that's 100% legit, but it's definitely more than 6 figures, put it that way. So you've got at least 6 people, because you always have a sub who is on the payroll. You have a coach, you've got all back stuff, you've got housing. I really don't know how they're profitable. You know, the view numbers are dropping on stream. So, you know, majority of the income that these teams have will be from sponsors, and all these teams will have sponsor deadlines and, like, targets. Hey, we need you to get, like, 10 million views a month on videos on the TSM channel, and then, you know, you'll hit your sponsor target. But that will also include LCS numbers, and LCS numbers are going down. So I really don't know, like, what the profitability and finance is going to be like in a couple of years' time. Why do I think NALCS players are more interesting than EU? Partially, yeah. Like they're saying, is it because they interact more? Yes. I do think that's a big thing. Another thing, and again, this is more of a personal, I've played with a bunch of the LCS pros, and they are just toxic, like, without the better phrase, a-holes. Like, they're just not very nice. Like, when I've played with them, and I've known them in that sense, and they, you know, they're off stream, they're anonymous, they're just not very nice. And again, you could probably say, oh, the North Americans are like that too, but in a personal opinion, I haven't played against the North Americans. I've played against the Europeans, and they're just not very nice. So, again, that's why I stopped supporting TSM. I really dislike Sven and Mithy. Like, I actually dislike them. Because they got banned a few years ago for toxicity. They've always come across really cocky in interviews. I just don't like them. And again, I do think that is partially why. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's just like, in my mind, I just prefer the North American personalities 100%. And that goes for the casters as well. Someone's saying, why do I play Alliance, not Horde? Because my friends. My friends, well, it's basically one friend, Jeebers. He swapped to Alliance about a couple years ago when one of his friends started playing again. So he transferred all of his characters over. He leveled new characters. He's made since about 1 million gold in WoW. And he doesn't want to transfer back over. Because one, I don't think he can afford it right now. And two, you only can bring 50,000 gold per character to a new server. So he'd lose all that gold that he's made, or like a fraction change. So he's not really willing to do that from what I can tell. Like, I do it in a heartbeat. I prefer Horde, but I'm not going to, like, put that between me playing WoW. Like, I'm definitely going to play WoW and just play Alliance. Do I think it's possible for anyone to get Diamond 5? Nope. Hell no. Again, this is one that a lot of YouTubers may, like, cuddle their audience and go, yeah, you can get it one day. Nah, I don't think so. To me, that's like, again, you have to remember, getting Diamond 5 means you're roughly in the top 1% of the game. That's the equivalent of saying, oh, you could be in the top 1% of mathematicians, 1% of whatever. It's, you know, I don't see why that's different. Like, no one would think that, oh, you can be in the top 1% of sprinters in the world. Probably not. Like, again, I know that's a not great view, and a lot of people might be like, oh, that's bummed me out. I just prefer to be a realist, to be honest. I don't know why people have a different mentality with League than basically anything else in life. It's not that different. So yeah. Do I PvP in WoW? Nah, I've never found it interesting. Yeah, no, I've heard that venture capitalists are popping up in the different organizations and investing. Again, I don't know why. Like, are they expecting like a massive TV deal to come through to get the viewership numbers up, and that'll be a massive boost of like the that might be a massive boost of I can't remember the value that each team has, maybe, but I don't know. And then finally, we're only going to do one more question. Not very big Q&A for today, but have I ever attended a Worlds final or anything? Nope. I've never really been to LoL events, to be honest. The only ever LoL event I've been to is when it's been like in a convention I'm at. So like an Insomnia or something. I'm going to be honest, I'm not that into watching live. I don't know, I like when I watch League, me and watching League has a weird relationship. Because I kind of pay half attention, and then when something interesting happens, then I put my attention to it. I don't know if I could sit there for like 4 hours just looking at a League of Legends like tournament or something. I don't think I have that in me anymore. Maybe like a few years ago, but I don't find it that interesting anymore. I find like the really good plays, but that's where I'd be very like, you know, content with just like watching highlight reels of like tournaments, because that's where you get the bulk of the good stuff. Like, I like NFL, American football, but I watch something over here called the Red Zone because it just shows you all the good things that has happened over the week. That's what I watch when I want to watch football. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you want to leave any more questions or anything, put them in the comments. Like the video if you did want to, you know, help out. And I'm going to go play COD, which I'm probably going to record a video on. Again, I used to play COD a lot. I haven't played one in years, so it's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to be terrible, but who knows. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it, subscribe if you haven't, leave more questions down below, and I'll see you guys next time.